I saw this trending video on TikTok and I could relate to it because I was once on their shoes. I was opportune to work with and I wasn't treated fair. Like I was always in a fight or flight mode. My nervous system was shattered, you guys. I wasn't properly, like I could not place myself together because of the attitude I do get from my boss. At a point I was living by God's grace. Like I would literally come to work to cry. Working was a terror for me. I could not even stand my boss. I hated the environment. Even for me to wake up in the morning to go to work was a nightmare for me. Like literally, I sleep all the time, and all I could do was just to dream about this certain boss, these certain bad colleagues. Like bad energy was all over me. The hardest part of my life. So all I did was to just leave the job for my mental health. So meanwhile, before I show you guys the video that I saw, which we are going to react, I want to quickly welcome you all to Julie's Space. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Please do consider smashing the subscribe button to be part of this great community. I would like to have you here. So let me quickly let the video roll and then we'll come back to react on it.
Thank you so much. Because, like, I've gotten to the place in my healing from my work trauma that I accept now that that was my reality too. My reality was I felt like I was gonna die, and I couldn't express it, and it was so hard to say to someone who watched me go through all of grad school, get to an MBA, to finally be waiting for this job offer and get the job offer and move to Chicago, get that job. I was right under 6 figures, but with the bonus I was gonna hit 6 figures, and I did all this to get there, got there, didn't make it 2 years before. Now I do think, with the timing of everything and my experience met with what I found, and just I was so bought in. And then to realize no. I had the suggestion that I consider going back for a while, for maybe 2 years, felt like a physical threat. Felt like you want me to die. My partner at the time was like, oh, you really are serious about not returning? You're really serious about this TikTok stuff? And I was like, offended? Offended, not offended in the way that I've learned TikTok takes offended, but you want me to die. That's what that felt like. You gave no shits about my entire life. And it felt so dramatic, right? 2 years, and it's just people being mean to me, or not getting me, or microaggressions. They're called know your place aggressions.
I am not in support of bad energy. I am not in support of you being tied around certain situations, certain things that will affect your mental health. At this point, your mental health is key, because a lot of people are suffering from mental breakdown, and most of the time it has to do with the environment. It has to do with the people that you work with. If you are in a situation whereby you're opportunity to work around people that you're not comfortable with, I would rather advise you to just take a step back. Strategize, no matter how much you're being paid. I know one of the things that make people feel certain way is because these jobs are usually 6-figure jobs, well-paid jobs, but they frustrate you. You wouldn't even be alive to enjoy what you've been working for. And of course, a lot of people share their stories, literally be shocked at what people pass through because they are working. Mostly for the palm-colored people, they take you for granted. They suppress you.
Go back and watch that creator's full video. They were able to articulate so well what I was feeling towards the end of my time in corporate America. And it just reminds me of a conversation that I had with a colleague of mine not too long before my departure. She was complaining that, people in the workplace were becoming too soft. And I had to push back against that, because what do you mean too soft? This is a 9 to 5. It's not a battlefield. But the reality is, for so many of us Black women, it does begin to feel like a battlefield. It feels like war. It's the masking. It's pretending that you want to be there. It's trying to push back against your colleagues who are trying you without coming off as angry and aggressive because, oh my God, they're going to go up in arms. And if you're neurodivergent, you have to account for making sure that there is no communication breakdowns, making sure that you understand the coded language that everyone is speaking. All of those things are highly energetically taxing. And to me, it felt like such a dire situation because I was making the most money that I had made in my life up to that point, but it felt like my soul was being sucked out of my body in tiny little pieces. And every day, a little piece of my soul was sucked right up. I was miserable. I was crying all the time. I felt like something was massively wrong, but because like there wasn't a big specific event that happened, like lawsuit worthy event, it, in many ways, I was gaslighting myself to say like, oh, maybe it's not so bad. But it really did feel like being unalived by 1,000 paper cuts, except it wasn't paper doing the cutting. Currently, I'm running my own coaching and hypnotherapy practice, and I am very happy. I feel wealthier than I've ever been, even though I'm just getting the hang of running my business full time instead of part time. I feel more deeply connected. I am happier. I am able to move through life with a regulated nervous system. I'm not stuck up here in fight or flight mode. And I don't know exactly what the future will bring, but I'm doing the work to make sure it's a future that I actually want to be participating in. And if you're a Black woman who is going through that struggle of deciding whether or not you want to leave a toxic job or stay because you need to get your bills paid, always choose yourself. Always choose yourself. And even if you can't leave right now, that doesn't mean you can't create a game plan. You are so much more valuable than your deliverables and your OKRs. And I say this as someone who spent almost 10 years in HR.
And I can tell you guys for free that they don't do this to their fellow colored people. This is mostly directed to this color, the Black people. I was able to pick up some stitches here and there, and I'm going to let it roll so that you guys will see how a lot of people reacted and what they had to say about their jobs. Like literally, you're going to be shocked watching this video. So let's just quickly let this video roll. We'll come back and react to it.
Reminder that being the good Black person at work will never serve you. I've been in corporate America for about 5 years now, and if there's anything that I learned, it's that overperforming and putting on a fake persona to get your foot into certain doors will only nail you to the cross later. And I'm not even gonna blame Black people who do this, because we have learned that we have to code switch to get certain opportunities. But at a certain point, you realize it's like, oh my gosh, at what cost? Because let me tell you what happens. Once you get that job, you are going to be held to the standard of showing up as that person from the interview every damn day. And the moment that you don't, God help you. And I am saying this from firsthand experience that I am currently living. The best advice I've gotten to combat this whole phenomenon of like being held to the like really weird and unachievable standards of personality, manage their expectations from the beginning. And what that can look like is just letting your manager know that, hey, like if I ever look disinterested, that's me processing. It takes longer for me to process things sometimes. So just want to give you a heads up there. It's exhausting that we even have to do that. But as a Black woman, I know firsthand, God forbid that you are a laid back personality, because that will oftentimes be taken as disinterest or even anger. So yeah, keep their expectations on line with who you are from the beginning. That is the best advice I ever got from upper management that is Black. Because when you put on the whole jovial, hi, oh my gosh, when you put on that act in the interview and then you get the job and you know, you're just chilling like me, they do not take your work performance into account. They'll just start saying that you're not a cultural fit.
This is insane. I'm saying this to you. This is insane. Please do not associate yourself where you don't belong. It's better you try to work on yourself, be self-empowered, like how to develop yourself. There are a lot of things you can do, you know, to make yourself better, to get the better version of yourself, other than working for people that don't appreciate you. I want to use this medium to tell you that don't be scared to leave that toxic job. Don't be scared to leave that toxic environment, toxic community, toxic people. Because do you know what toxic people do to people? They make you toxic. What toxic people do to people is that you inherit that behavior, even without being told or even without knowing. If you are not opportune to find yourself in such such situation, I would rather advise you to please step back, strategize, and find things that work for you. You might actually get something better than trying to like fit in where you don't belong, or where you're not meant to stay. So you guys, a lot of people reacted differently to this, and to be honest, nobody approved it. A toxic job, a toxic community is a no-no for me, and you deserve better for your mental health, for your physical health, for your life as a whole. Step away, move away from that community, and you'll be glad you did at the end. If you've watched up until now, thank you so much. Let me know your experience in your workplace. Just know what you think generally about this video. And if you're yet to subscribe, please consider smashing the subscribe button to be part of this great community. I would like to have you here. And I will see you all in my next one. Stay happy, be kind, and be blessed. Bye.